So if you remember a few weeks ago before MCAS, we did a mini lesson on how to find the surface area. So I'm going to review this again because we do need to take a test on it eventually. So I'm going to do a very quick review on surface area. So if you remember, surface area is the area of all of the flat faces of a three-dimensional figure. So I'm going to do some of these and I want you to do them with me. So the first thing I want you to do is write down the different faces of this one for number 1. So there's a front and a back, a right and a left, and a top and a bottom. So take a second and write the same words on the side. You can do it in the same spot that I'm doing it. And then we're going to find all of these different measurements. Okay, so the front and the back are both rectangles. So what I do is I trace over it with my pen to figure out what my length and width are. If you remember, the area of a rectangle is length times width. So I'm going to do 24 when I trace over the front, and when I trace over the back, I go over 10. So my length times width is 24 times 10, which is 240. So that means the front and the back both have an area of 240 centimeters. Now I'm going to do the right and the left. So I'm going to trace the right. When I trace over it, I get the two numbers I need. I get 30 and 10. 30 times 10 is 300. So there's my right and my left. Now I have to do the top and the bottom. So I'm going to trace the bottom. I get a 24 and I get a 30. Okay, so I have to do 24 times 30. I'm just going to do this up here. I'm going to do 24 times 3 and then just put a 0 at the end. So 720 for the top and the bottom. The final step is to add all of these together. Okay, so it should be a little bit probably better lined up than I have, but let's see. So I have a 0, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Carry the 1. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus 7 is 18. Plus 7 is 25. So 2,520 centimeters squared. This has a 2 over it because all of these flat sides are two-dimensional. So that's why you put a 2 over it. Okay. I'm going to have you try number 2 all by yourself, but I'll help you set it up. So on the right here, first thing we want to do is write all the different sides. So again, you have a front, a back, a right, a left, a top, and a bottom. So you're going to trace over with your finger and find the length and the width that you need, figure these out, and add them together. So you're going to do this one all by yourself on your worksheet. So pause and try that one. Okay, and now if you're watching again, that means you did this problem and you got an answer. So hopefully that's done because you're going to need to check in with me. I'm going to do a triangular prism now. Okay, so this is going to be very similar where we want to write down the different faces. So I'm going to say we have a front and a back. So front, back. I'm going to say we have a right and a left. I'm going to call these right and left. And we have a bottom. We don't have a top because this is a triangular prism, so it comes up to a point. So there is no top for this. Now, the front and the back are triangles. So that's a completely different formula. The area for a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Okay, I'm going to write that up here. Base times height divided by 2. That is the area formula for a triangle. Okay, so you need to remember that. And you're only using that formula for the front and the back because those are the only two sides that are actually triangles. The other thing that you need to remember are that the base and the height have to make a 90-degree angle. So you're looking for the little square so that you could find the two lines that go to that square. Those are going to be your base and your height. So for this one, we have a base of 2 and a height of 2. So I'm going to do base times height. 2 times 2 is 4. Divided by 2 is 2. So the front and the back both have an area of 2. Now I got to find the right and the left. So I'm going to trace over the right. I go over a 12 and a 2. Now this is a rectangle. So I'm doing length times width. 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, I'm going to go over the left too just to make sure it's the same size because sometimes it can be a little bit different. When I go over that, so this is going to be the opposite of this. So it's also going to be a 12 times 2. So it's also 24. The bottom of this is 2.8 times 12. So I need to do 2.8 times 12. So that is 16, carry the 1, 5, start with a 0, 8, and 2. So 336, but there's one decimal, so one number to the right. So 33.6 for the bottom. Now I need to add these. So what I'm going to do is add a decimal point and a 0 to everything just so that they all are lined up. And I want to add these. So I get 6, bring the decimal point down, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 85.6 inches squared. Okay, so make sure you did that one with me. If you didn't, pause and copy this down. So I had to find the front and the back, but they're both triangles. So I had to do base times height divided by 2, just for those 2 triangles. The rest of the sides are all rectangles, so it's just length times width. The other thing you need to remember is that you have to find the triangle because the 2 lines that go to, the square. So the 2 lines that go to this square are your base and your height numbers. Okay, so you're going to try this one by yourself. So this one I'm going to say has a front and a back as well. So front and back. Let's say it has a right and a left, and I would say it has a bottom. So this one again has no top. So you need to figure out what the front and the back are. Those are your triangles. So you need to figure out base times height divided by 2. Remember, look for the square. The 2 lines that go to the square are your base and your height. So multiply those and divide it by 2. That will give you your front and your back. Your right, your left, and your bottom are all rectangles, and then add them together. So pause and do this one. Okay, the last one I'm going to have you do is number 6. This is a rectangular prism again. So this is going to have your 6 faces. So you're going to have a front, a back, a right, a left, a top, and a bottom. Okay, so these are just rectangles, so everything's going to be length times width for this one. So length times width for the front and the back, length times width for the right and the left, length times width for the top and the bottom. Write all those different answers, add them all together. Okay, so finish this last one. So when you come up to see me, you should have the 2 that I did with you and the 3 that you did on your own. Okay, so make sure you have it all done.